When manufacturers try to keep their best foot forward with a certain product in a certain segment, it just goes to show how important that segment is. Such is the 160cc class. Now, motorcycles in this class are special because they offer a good mix of everything: performance, efficiency, comfort, and also a sense of realism as being the only motorcycle in your garage for a really long time. Today, we look at the top 3 160cc motorcycles, the motorcycles that we feel are at the very top of the food chain.
And we start with the RTR 164V. It's the motorcycle that was actually at the top of this segment for the longest time.
But that was only until the Xtreme came along. However, it still wasn't 100%, but today in 2023, with a 4-valve head and some design tweaks, this is going to be a very close fight.
Didn't you say there were 3 motorcycles, but?
The newest kid on the block, that's who you are forgetting. The N160 is the new favorite. Fast, flowing, and so bloody good. It's going to be a great triple threat match, huh?
Spoke like a true new kid on the block.
Hey, but who's riding which motorcycle?
Can I ride?
Relax, relax. I have an idea.
Yeah. It's time to go to work.
I will be riding the N160.
Okay, it's time to go to work. That's right.
Superstar. The N160 is the perfect 160. A good mix of everything at the right price. And the N160 is looking at the top step of the podium.
I got the RTR.
Winner? He seems to be getting too ahead of himself. Got to deal with the king of performance here. RTR for the win.
And that leaves me with the Xtreme.
Okay, it's time to go to work.
The Xtreme 160R 4V is not only the newest between the 3, it also looks the smartest. And as Hero claims, it is the fastest 162. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Let's ride.
What a game changer. The introduction of the 4V has made the Xtreme stress-free. Almost like a cup of chai that comes to your table on a heavy workday. Refinement has gone up and so has performance. So much so that the brand claims the Xtreme to be the fastest 160cc today. While the engine feels nice and smooth, the motorcycle feels the best in the top half of the rev spectrum. I'm not sure you as a buyer would want to be that heavy on the throttle in the city, but on open roads, it pulls hard, it pulls fast, and it is a really fun experience.
The N in N160 stands for engine. The Pulsar doesn't just sound good, but the low-end tractability and the strong mid-range are the highlights here. The Pulsar pulls right from 3500 RPM all the way to its red line, and the cherry on top of a cake that's made of fun and enthusiasm is refinement. The vibrations are so minor, even near the 6500 RPM mark. Pair that up with the light clutch and the smooth gearbox, and Bajaj truly has a winner. For me, it's even better than the NS160, and that's saying something about the N.
Racing heritage. That is exactly what TVS is known for. It's almost like a bragging right. And respectfully, they have every right. It starts off with the engine. Amongst the 3, it makes the most power and feels like a fast, sporty motorcycle from the moment you open the throttle. It comes alive past 5000 RPM and sinks till the limiter. The refinement here is on point and I really like it. It must be older than the other 2 here, but it's very much in the game. Actually, very much at the top of the game.
Who doesn't like a good-looking motorcycle? While we are divided on what looks the best, it was wise of us to park it in our office and take the opinion of our people.
I have to say the Hero.
Xtreme, Hero Xtreme.
Pulsar.
हमारा बजाज.
ये Xtreme.
अच्छी लग रही है. I actually really like the Pulsar.
I think I choose the TVS because I love TVS bikes.
I think the Xtreme.
This middle one, TVS.
I think it's the Xtreme, the Hero Xtreme, I'm sure.
I think I'll have to go with the Pulsar.
I think even I'll go for the Pulsar because it just looks very fast.
Pulsar N160.
This Pulsar, ये सबसे खूबसूरत दिखता है. Yo.
Apache.
Apache.
Xtreme.
I think I like the Xtreme.
ये blue वाली.
Xtreme.
The one to the right, Xtreme.
But why?
Because look at it, it looks menacing. In black color, it almost looks like it's going to transform.
Now that we have ridden in the city for a while, it's important to talk about a very important aspect of city riding, and that's ride quality. And I want to go first with this one because the ride quality on the Xtreme is actually impressive. It is, let's say, the needle tilts slightly towards the plush side of things, but its ability to take on speed breakers, if you end up going in a pothole, it should just come out fine. There should be no problem. There's one very interesting thing, and that's actually the seat. Because the seat is foamy, it's very well cushioned, and it almost acts like an extension to your rear shock. So it's able to absorb some of the energy, and I think it's very well done. I really like it.
You say the Xtreme is comfy and well done. I would say the N160 is medium rare and sporty. Because as soon as you start to ride it, you can immediately tell the ride is firm, especially at the rear. So if you go through like a big pothole and you don't spot it, especially in the rains right now, it gives you such a big jolt. I mean, yeah, it's sporty and that has its advantages, but in the city it is very firm.
You said it's well done, and you said that it is medium rare. I don't know where the RTR sits, but it is somewhere right in the middle of it. So the RTR is not as soft as the Xtreme, neither is it as firm as the N, but it definitely has better damping up. The ride quality of the motorcycle is just so well balanced. I love that about it. At low speeds in the city, it does the job well. But the firmness of the motorcycle gives you so much of confidence when you have to pick up speeds, especially on the highway. I love that about it.
Sporty. The N160 is a sporty bike, and it's spelling that out for you with its riding position. You sit almost angled forward, which honestly isn't the most comfortable way to sit for long hours, and the seat is on the harder side, but surprisingly the pegs aren't super rear set, nor are they very high. It is a commuter in that sense, but it is a sporty one.
If the N is sporty, the RTR is sportier. There's almost no space and you feel tucked in. Might feel a little cramped for taller riders, but for my frame, it feels just fine. From the way you grip the tank to the handlebar position to the overall ergonomic feel, it sits right in the middle. The pegs almost feel a little high, which I am okay with.
The Xtreme is the exact opposite of these two. It has the most comfortable rider's triangle between the three, and that's never going to be a bad thing. Most of the time, these 160cc motorcycles will be used in the city, and being on the saddle for a really long time should not be a problem.
If you ride the N160 on its own, you're gonna have pretty much no complaints whatsoever. On paper, this has the longest wheelbase, it's also the heaviest, which should translate to a fairly slow motorcycle. But the Pulsar is so much fun. Instead of being slow, it's engaging, it's responsive, and it is really reassuring as well.
It's only when you ride it back to back with the other two motorcycles that you start to feel it's actually quite top heavy and not nearly as nimble, especially when you're snaking through traffic. The low sporty handlebar on the N160 is also not ideal for maneuvering at those crawling speeds. Unlike the N, the Xtreme's handlebar is taller and it's also slightly wider, and what that does is give you more leverage when you want to steer the motorcycle. One more thing that I would like to add here, if you take the numbers of a spec sheet and put it to the real world in terms of experience, you will realize that the Xtreme is extremely good in the handling department. Less weight, tight wheelbase, it's actually a standout when it comes to city riding. You will enjoy filtering through traffic when you're riding in the city. It's also the only motorcycle amongst the three that comes with a USD fork up front, so the engineering box is checked too. But overall, so much fun to ride.
If the Xtreme is love, the RTR isn't far away. At the end of the day, everything that rolls out of the Hosur plant is race ready. RTR or not, it will handle well. And don't forget the firmer setup. It is not as heavy as the N, and with that suspension, the RTR is a very engaging ride. I'm a racer, and I feel that in a not so ideal world, for these motorcycles at a racetrack, this motorcycle will absolutely eat the other two.
The N160's brakes are the class of this field. Sharp as soon as you start to squeeze them, with great progression from then on. It's also the only one here to offer dual channel ABS, which makes it a whole lot safer.
Now the RTR we have belongs to a friend and has done over 22,000 kilometers. So I wouldn't judge it for lacking bite from the front brake. But we have tested a new RTR, and even though it didn't shed speed as quickly as the Pulsar, it is very stable under hard braking. The Apollo S1s on this RTR also provide more confidence, especially in the wet.
The brakes on the Xtreme feel soft. There's no real bite and it stands no chance in this department against the other two. The lack of a dual channel ABS system can be a deal breaker for some, and I completely agree that extra net of safety is needed when you put the fastest 160cc claim in your title. LED headlamps.
Have them.
Projector. LED indicators.
Have that too.
Halogen. Bluetooth connectivity.
Smart X Connect.
No BT, but do you have DTE?
I don't need DTE.
क्यों चाहिए?
Dual channel ABS?
Single.
+1.
Are we forgetting something?
Aha, USD fork.
नहीं है.
+1 नहीं है.
I think now we are done.
You're forgetting the ride modes.
Who needs ride modes, man?
160cc motorcycle riding modes.
Can you even see anything in your digital cluster?
See, I would choose an RTR any single day.
And why we couldn't decide the winner? We decided to do something only winners would. Number 1, gold.
Winner.
Please,
Yes,
come
I'm
on.
also winner. Arey,
See,
okay,
my
relax. Wait. Let's be mature. Okay, let's keep our trophies down. I said be mature and let's keep our trophies down. And let's have a mature discussion. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So you see, people easily forget about the motorcycles that have been around for a really long time. So as time goes by, it's literally a goodbye. But that shouldn't be the case with the RTR. RTR is an exceptional city motorcycle and true to its racing character. You know, even after so long, nobody has been able to come close to the power that the RTR generates.
Arey, power is just a number unless you're able to put it all down. The N makes full use of that power, and I think honestly at rupees 1.3 lakh it offers the most value of the three as well. It's right in the middle. And dual channel ABS, or actually the lack of dual channel ABS, is a deal breaker for some. It actually should be a deal breaker for most of you, and the N checks that box as well. It's a very good motorcycle.
I have that winner tag too, and I'm glad he's brought the pricing bit, because between the three, the Xtreme top end variant is actually the most expensive. Nevertheless, it's a very good addition to the 160cc segment, and I feel today in 2023, this segment is not too cost sensitive. It's also open to experiments. But these are the motorcycles that we like.
I agree with you. You know, there's so many more motorcycle options out there. Like, you could like the Yami, or you could like the Honda, or you guys could like the Gixxer by Suzuki.
And we actually can't even forget the NS. Like, Varun and I did a video where Varun is Bade Bhaiya the NS, I'm Chote Bhaiya the N, and that's already up on our YouTube channel. You should check that one out. And we're just basically trying to say that this segment has so many good motorcycles that it's fantastic.
You know, I remember we spoke of taking the best bits from the NS and the N, and I think it applies to the entire segment of the 160s. You take the best bits from every motorcycle and create like the bestest 160cc motorcycle.
Exactly, like the engine from the N.
I think I would take the comfort and the ergonomics from the Xtreme.
And I would pick the feel and the character from the RTR. But, there's a big but. We have to take a name. So which one is it?
For me, it's the N. Now, why? Because it is refined, but it is also sporty and it's still fun. I think my favorite thing about the N is that firstly, it does not feel cheap. There's attention to detail in pretty much every angle of the N, and it doesn't feel like a commuter. It feels like a very special motorcycle. And of course, there are then the brakes, and overall, it is just a beautiful package.
For me, it has to be the RTR. For me, the RTR looks really cool and handles like a proper sporty motorcycle. And the performance has to be the cherry on the top.
Yeah, for me, might come as a surprise, but it's actually the Xtreme. And primarily I say this because it does some things so good for the segment that it sits in. More than decent performance. I think it's the best handling motorcycle of the three. It looks so handsome and is very, very comfortable.
But these are the motorcycles that we like. You guys should go test ride and then decide.
And if you like our video, drop us a like, comment below on which of these three motorcycles is your favorite. And of course, we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, while these kids go around with their trophies, I just want to remind you that this one was a very tough one to make, and I know that it's going to be a long day of test riding for people who are looking to buy a motorcycle in this particular class. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you want more such comparos, drop those names in the comment section below, and all of us will see you later.
N160 is the new favorite. Fast, flowing, and so bloody good.
Pulsar.
क्यों?
वो अच्छा है, चलाने को अच्छा लगता है मुझे।
नहीं, दिखने में कौन सा है?
Pulsar.
क्यों?
पसंद है मुझे।
I'm not giving injection.
If it doesn't look like you.
इसी के साथ, छाते के साथ।
कोई तो RTR बोल दो यार। Okay.
കാണാൻ അടിപൊളിയാണ്, കളർ അടിപൊളിയാണ്, ഒരു അഗ്രസീവ് ലുക്ക് ഉണ്ട്.
Don't tell anyone, but I like the Xtreme the most.
Blue is my favorite color.